Good evening and welcome everyone to day 2 of March Gladness 5-day challenge. If you have been with me actually since the kickoff, it is really day 3 for us logging on here and giving me some of your time. And I really appreciate it. I hope this has been beneficial to you because it has definitely been beneficial to me talking to each and every one of the ladies of the last couple of nights. Our kickoff night, we talked about resilience. And so if you didn't get a chance to watch that, it is on my YouTube channel, or you can go to my social media channels as well and watch that. On social media, you can follow me on Instagram at author Rhonda Green, and of course on Facebook at After Surviving, or you can locate me just by searching for Rhonda Green. And you can see the videos have been posted there. At least the kickoff has been posted there. You have to register and be registered to get all the other replays in its entirety. So I thank you again for joining me. And like I said, the kickoff night, we talked about resilience. And then last night I had Dr. Latasha McWade on, and she talked about release, especially when it comes to anger for those who are survivors of domestic violence. And we talked about just releasing that anger and moving on to live a happy, joyful life. And of course, since my name starts with R, I got to give you a third word that starts with R. We had resilience, release, and tonight we're going to be talking about renewal. So what is renewal? Well, the dictionary defines renewal as resuming an activity or state after an interruption. Now, I know that many of us have had our lives interrupted because right now we're still going through a pandemic. COVID has definitely interrupted everybody's life. And we are so ready to get back to normal. But can I tell you something? There's no getting back to things as it used to be. And for each and every one on this call, even if you are not a survivor of domestic violence, you've had experiences in your life that after you went through it, there was never a getting back to normal. Some things you go through, things will never be the same. And that's life. You're going to be a different person, but that is really a good thing. That's a good thing that when we grow through things, we change and our lives become better. Yeah. So, I hope that hearing the conversations over the past couple of days and our conversation tonight with my special guest will really help you to grow, help you to walk in your purpose and just be a better person. And of course, my ultimate goal is to make sure each and every one of you are living life to the fullest with a happy heart. We don't want anyone to be walking around sad, moping. I know we all go through things, but we are here to connect with each other, support each other, and really get to a place of being happy. So I do hope that you walk away this evening as a totally different person. And so I want to introduce tonight's guest. I apologize. I got to read some information because she just has so much going on. I couldn't memorize it. So ladies and gentlemen, Tonika Maria is a certified Christian life coach. She is an author, speaker, and mentor who loves to use her passion for practical wisdom and truth to help Christian women successfully navigate tough relationships and transitions and wilderness seasons with peace, clarity, and greater levels of wholeness. From her own wilderness season of seeking to be married without being whole in Christ first, she learned the hard way on how to walk in wholeness and completeness in Christ. Because of that, her desire is to help women become rooted, grounded, fixed, and founded in the love of God before seeking to be married. She is the author of a best-selling book. Her first best-selling book is titled Get Out of That Dead-End Relationship Now, a Christian Woman's Guide on How to Get Real, Be Healed, and Move On. She subsequently wrote her second book, A Woman's Journey Home, 14 Keys to Ascending to the Next Dimension in 2019. Her original book was released in 2014. She had a long work that she has done and others to have healthy romantic relationships. Her deepest passion is to see women walk in emotional wholeness through the process of simply getting real and being healed. She's spoken into the lives of many women through numerous small groups, church conferences, workshops, both live and virtual. With a strong business and accounting background, Tonika is a woman who we all in some way hope to have a little bit of her rub off on us. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, let me welcome my guest, Miss Tonika Maria.
Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you so much for inviting me here to March Gladness. It's absolutely an honor to just be here and to share with you on tonight. God is so good and God is so faithful to bring us through. And it's been a minute since I heard that phrase that I coined back in the day: rooted, grounded, fixed, and founded in the love of God. I want to be rooted. I want to be grounded, fixed, and founded in His love above all things, and then knowing to love myself. That is a big, huge part of it. But thank you so much for letting me be here tonight. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for giving us your time. And you're absolutely correct. I have the exact same belief. I don't know where I would be without Jesus. And I know people say that a lot, but truly, I don't know where or who I would be without him. Now, let's get right into it, because I know that the next 20 minutes is going to be full of great wisdom and information for the ladies and gentlemen who are joining us tonight. And there is a saying that breaking up is hard to do. But, I think the hardest part is bouncing back after the breakup. That especially was my truth for many, many years. I just couldn't seem to be that resilient woman that I am now. I had to go through so much just to bounce back. And sometimes we're just comfortable staying in a place of lack. Sometimes we're comfortable staying in what we're used to versus going on to a new thing. So tell me, how does one even begin the process of processing romantic grief in a healthy way?
That's such a profound question. And there are several things, but the beginning of the process, the very beginning process, if you want, and your first word, which you said your first word of this challenge was resilience. That was your first word, right?
Yes.
And the key to resiliency, the key to having that bounce back in the beginning, is to really be able to sit with your pain and really be able to grieve it in a normal way. Because a resilient heart, that bounce back capacity, it comes from a heart that's been softened. It comes from a heart that's been tenderized. Because if I let my heart get hard, because I don't let myself cry, if I don't allow myself to feel that pain in a healthy way, my heart's going to get hard. And guess what? Heart breaks easy, right? There's no resilience, but it's the soft heart. It's the tender heart that feels the pain, that's able to have that bounce back capacity. And so the first key to really processing romantic grief in a healthy way is not numbing, not checking out, but checking in. Instead of checking out, numbing out, over spiritualizing, being Miss Super Spiritual and Miss Holy Roller. Come on, you got to sit with that pain. And one of my mentors, Shannon Yvette, she would always say in one of her teachings back in the day, I remember her saying, pain is a teacher and an indicator. It doesn't come to stay. It just simply passes through. So you walk through that pain, and see, we want to quickly heal. We want to rush through our healing process. And it's like, we want to hurry up. And I put a post out on social media, with a picture on my Instagram, a lady, she has a cell phone camera in her hand, posting the picture because she want to prove to the world she's so healed so fast. I want to rush out and heal me fast, God, so God can send me a man. No.
Yes.
No. We want to take the time to heal in a healthy way. See, we want to rush through it, and we don't want to do our soul work. And so when I say that, what I actually mean, I have something on my lip, but what I actually mean is that when you feel that pain of that romantic grief, you honor yourself as a human being. Give yourself the dignity and the compassion to say, hey, I hurt. I'm not going to do Netflix and wine. I'm not going to get caught up in super busy activities. I'm not going to just keep busting and you cry your tears. You feel all the feelings. You allow yourself to feel the anger. You feel the hurt. In my instances, I've gone through several romantic breakups. I've ended an engagement 6 months ago, which is significant. And even in that book from years ago, Get Out of That Dead End Relationship. And there are other smaller, less significant dating relationships, even in, that's a long time span, right? Yeah. But in each, I've learned to sit with my pain, right? I grieved it. I allowed myself to feel those feelings in my alone time with God. I allowed myself, I didn't try to be like, I allowed myself to feel self-righteous. I allowed myself to feel the anger to him. I said curse words. I didn't try to be Miss Holy Roller. I felt all the pain because it's like you're worthy and deserving of being able to fully express that. And so we walk around talking about I'm a queen, I'm a queen, I'm a queen. Well, queen, you got to know yourself.
Mm.
You got to know yourself, and you got to check in with yourself and know that pain as well as your joy. And so we're expecting a man to like hug us and hold us when we cry and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But when we need to cry, we trying to like go shop it out, work it out, have 49 different projects, start 15 businesses. We do everything in the world.
Right, to avoid that hurt.
Mm-hmm. And then we want somebody else to sit with us when we cry, but we won't sit with our own soul when we cry. So long story, long answer, but the first, you said, to begin the process
mm-hmm.
of processing romantic pain is really let yourself feel all those feelings instead of ruminating, and let your mind feel your feelings. Feel your feelings.
Yeah.
And did you want us to go ahead? I don't want to keep talking if you have a question.
No, I'm enjoying everything you're saying. I just wanted to let you know how I connect with that, because in 2018, I called off an engagement, and I can remember being on the kitchen floor in my house, falling out, crying to the Lord, like, God, I thought this was the person I was going to spend the rest of my life with. I love this person. I even loved him even when I knew he wasn't operating at his fullest potential as a man and as my fiance. And I was just praying for him. I was praying, God, what do you want? Because I knew by that point, God did not want me to continue in that. Yeah. And I was on my knees, just falling out, crying. So you have to sit in that for a moment so that you can really release it. You can't ignore that hurt. When you start to ignore it, you start to operate in ways that you really should not, because you're just avoiding what you should have dealt with. And that's why I love your IG page name, Get Real. Okay, be healed.
Be healed.
That's
Get
what you
real.
do.
That's right. That's right. And so when we don't properly express that pain, it doesn't go anywhere. It's there and it shows up. It shows up in the aches. It shows up in the pains. It shows up in the female troubles. It shows up, because what you don't speak out, your body's going to always act it out. And so that unresolved emotional pain, it stays there. And then you attract that unhealthy me. And that's one of the relationship equation. Unhealthy me plus unhealthy he equals an unhealthy we. So now I got an unhealthy me. And anytime I'm an unhealthy me, because I haven't dealt with my unhealed pain, I'm going to always attract an unhealthy he. It's literally a relationship equation. Unhealthy me plus an unhealthy he equals the unhealthy me. And I got to deal with me before I go try to run and get me a he, or I'm going to have a jacked up we. And it all starts with not dealing with that pain.
Or everything you're involved in is going to be jacked up. We had someone in the comments say that they've got 50 different projects going on, but how can you focus on all that? What you really need to focus on is you and getting real and getting healed so that you can be successful in everything else that you put your hands to. Now, I'll tell you what, I actually, in my book, 7 Ways to Free Your Mind After Abuse, which is available for free on my website. It's a short ebook in which I outline steps to help women really get free, mentally, emotionally. Of course, they should already be physically free out of that relationship, but you want to also now free your mind. Right. And one of the things I talk about in the book is getting rid of things that connect you to that ex, like getting rid of jewelry or clothes or other items that connect you to that ex, because it keeps bringing back memories. Now, I know on your IG page, you did an entire lesson talking about bringing old things and old thoughts into a new season. Tell us just a little tidbit about that.
Wow. So there's so many layers and dimensions to that. But I feel like the external things, like getting rid of the mementos and tokens and items of the relationship, To me, that's secondary to the spiritual aspect first. As it is in the spirit, so it is in the natural. So what do I mean by that? What I mean is, if I deal with the soul tie, if I begin the process of healing that, processing my romantic grief in a healthy way, now I'm ready to start cutting that soul tie with that ex. And so that soul tie, that mental, when you connect with someone intimately, especially in a sexual way, it's emotion to emotion, soul, will to will, mind, body, you're exchanging all of these things, right? Now you got to cut that soul tie. Once that soul tie is severed and you really mean it, and the biggest thing that ties us to other souls is the bond of unforgiveness, but you've severed it through prayer and through your verbalization, you're cutting that soul tie with that person. Then the exterior, the outward manifestation of really cutting that soul tie is the release of those things. And, that depends on the person. It's like using your discernment. I do recommend, when you're at that place where you really want to cut that soul tie, how you got a soul tie, you're still thinking about them every day. You're still having flashbacks about them every day. You're ruminating. You're thinking about them. You're rehearsing times in your head with them all the time. They keep coming up in flashbacks. You keep having that's how you know you got a soul. You see them on Facebook and you get some kind of weird, some kind of a way feeling. That's a sign that you still got something going on with that person. But when you've cut that, to me, that needs to happen first, and then you can dealing with the external. But it helps to jumpstart it when you start removing things, and it depends on the trigger for you. Like in my case, immediately before I started, because I know a lot, so I immediately started the process of grieving my pain and cutting the soul tie. But to jumpstart it, I started going through my phone, deleting pictures, tearing up, getting rid of cards, throwing stuff in the trash can, tangible things of the relationship. I pawned a bracelet. Right. I got rid of some stuff, gave some stuff away. But then there are certain items, that I have. I'm like, well, this don't trigger me. Like some clothing items and different things. I'm like, this is my clothes. I'm going to wear it. And I have no problem. I'm going to keep right on wearing this. Right. And or I had, so it depends on where you are in that soul tie process, if it's triggering you. Right. Like I have larger items of furniture that we purchased together. I'm not going to sit here and be sitting on the floor. Right. Until I'm ready to buy something new. I'm not going to do that, right? Because I've done my healing work, so I'm not going to be triggered. I'm going to enjoy my couch and enjoy my stuff, and I'm going to wear my clothes because I've done the soul tie cutting. So it's so many layers to it. But if you haven't even bothered to cut the soul tie, and you're still getting images of where you used to make love with them and having all these flashbacks, then it's going to be much more difficult for you to get rid of stuff. Or if you hang on to stuff, if you're looking at the stuff all the time, it's going to keep you triggered. So then I recommend, you got to get the inner. It's inner before outer. Inner before outer.
Yes, that is definitely true. I had a friend who she actually still had her engagement ring, and she was in a new relationship, still wearing her engagement ring, but on a different hand. And I was like, how does your new man feel about this? Because I'm like, when he looks at it, he knows the story behind it. And he's probably feeling you're still holding on to the past. So sometimes people will hold on to the past and hold on to things and not realizing that it is still connecting them to something that they should have already let go. So I do understand.
And something like the engagement ring, that will be an item that needs to go.
Yes, I agree.
But certain inanimate objects, like the little clothing or things, it just depends on the person and where you are in the journey and what it is. Something symbolic of marriage, like an engagement ring, that needs to be given back, or you need to sell it or something, right?
Yeah, that can definitely be a soul tie. Can definitely be a soul tie. Now, you have written 2 books, like I said. So tell me, when you were writing those books, did it also help you to kind of release and renew who you are, did putting those words on paper? Because as I was writing things, it also helped me continue to heal where I had thought I was completely over some things. But when you write and see something on paper, it's a different experience.
Exactly. Absolutely. Writing it and see that first book, Get Out of That Dead End Relationship Now, it started off in journals writing, so the book was published in 2014. A lot of the material was written in 2013 and 2012, right? And digging back through those old journals as I was processing it, and then getting it to the point of the book format. But that whole process definitely brought another layer of healing. It brought another layer of clarity. God really opens your eyes to your patterns and dynamics, because once you begin to process romantic grief and you fully cried your tears and you sat in the pain and you stopped running and repressing and hiding and checking out behind projects and being busy and spiritual or whatever, when you finally stop that, then that next step is, of course, really facing the truth about the relationship and how you showed up and your pattern and whatever it was in you that attracted that situation. And when you start writing in a journal or processing and begin to write a book, then it becomes very evident that, okay, it wasn't just him, it's too, I had my role in this thing too. It was me. It takes two, right? I'm a common denominator in how I'm showing up. So writing definitely brings clarity, and a whole healing happens in layers. So you get another layer whenever you start writing it out, for sure.
Yes. Yes. And we both coach women. So I know we tell them to journal their feelings as well. And it's interesting how your journal became your book. Yes. And we do have a giveaway. I thank you so much for giving of yourself, because you're going to actually give away one of those books. So I am going to say and since this is recorded, I don't want to say everyone's name, but to the person in the room, last name Smith, if you would reach out to Tonika on Instagram and send her your address so she can send you a copy of her book.
All right.
Okay. So there's only, Smith is such a popular name, but luckily there's only one Smith in the room tonight on the live.
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Smith. So make sure you do that so you can get your free complimentary copy of Tonika's book. Okay.
Yes. I mean, I'm on Get Real Be Healed on Instagram. So definitely inbox me your information and I'll get it out to you.
Awesome. So I know we just talked about Instagram. How else can the audience contact you, follow you, get more information?
All right. Yeah. So definitely go to Instagram at Get Real Be Healed. And there's a link in my bio, my link tree at Tonika Maria. And there you will have access. You can learn more about what I do, my 2 books that are available, my YouTube channel. And also I've opened up my calendar for bounce back recovery calls, where if you're in a place where you're in a dynamic and you're not sure, you kind of feeling that urge that God is telling you, this is not it, and you need clarity on your next steps, that your situation is toxic, that there's a feeling that you need to go, that gut instinct is telling you there, and you're feeling that resistance, schedule a bounce back recovery call. I have slots open this tomorrow morning, and I'll open up more next week. And this is a way to just help you get clarity on your where your relationship is. And this is absolutely complimentary and free. And also you can learn more about the Bounce Back Experience. It's an immersion experience, an 8-week group coaching program that I'm opening up that will start in May. We're going to go through 8 weeks of intensive healing work in terms of really learning how to bounce back in a healthy way so that you're fruitful, focused, fired up, and back on the path to peace after a breakup. We want to bounce back from our breakups resilient, fully healed, whole, and freed up and ready to go. And so you can learn more about that on my link and on my Instagram bio.
Yes. And I know you do it and you put so much energy into it and do it so gracefully. And, when you talk about bouncing back, I can't help but to think of people on a trampoline just jumping up and down. And that's the kind of joy when you really heal. It's like you can just walk through life like you're bouncing on the trampoline throughout everything you go through, and things no longer weigh you down. So I just love how you call it the bounce back immersion. Yeah. So we definitely
bounce back.
That's right. We definitely want people to take part in that. And even if you're not a survivor of domestic violence, like I said, I know that we all go through things, and I know that this whole experience with you and the coaching program you have will definitely help them bounce back. So please take advantage of that. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. I hope that you got something out of it. We'll be doing this again tomorrow night. And also my next guest, she is actually a narcissist coach. So we'll be talking about narcissism on tomorrow night. And then on Saturday, I had to think what day of the week it is. On Saturday, we're actually talking about abstinence. So we kind of touched tonight on the spiritual connection and soul ties. We're going to really dive into that on Saturday evening with my guest, Karen. So make sure you join us, 30 minutes. We're going to get a lot of great information in that short time. The replays will be sent out to everyone who registered. I appreciate you all spending your time with us this evening. Hope that you enjoyed it just as much as I have. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, and have a wonderful evening. And thank you to my special guest, Tonika. I love you and I appreciate you being on.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And absolutely, no problem. Enjoyed it. Enjoyed just sharing.
Great. Thank you. We'll do it again.
All right.
Take care, everyone.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.